Was it worth it? All the battles, the ambitions, the promises I made to the people? Here I am, in this dark, cold cell, awaiting a fate that I know is not just. The trial was farce, a mockery of everything I ever stood for. They have sentenced me, not for any crime, but because I dared to dream. I dared to dream to build a future for this country. They called me a dictator, a murderer. Accusations they knew were lies, but they didn't care. They wanted to silence me. They crushed the voice of a man who once stood for the masses. And now here I am, awaiting my end. I remember the crowds, the passion, the power I once wielded. They cheered for me. They followed me. They believed in me. I gave my heart to this country, to its people. But did I make a difference? Or was it all just a fleeting illusion? They say power corrupts. Perhaps I was blinded by it. Perhaps I allowed myself to believe that I could change the world, that one man could shape the course of history. Now, as I await my execution, I wonder, was I wrong? Or was it the system, the very structure that I tried to break free from? Though I cannot deny my mistakes, but the question remains, what would have been the path for Pakistan if not for me? A nation divided, corrupt, in chaos. Perhaps I was not the savior they hoped for, but at least I was the one who dared to dream for something greater. In the end, truth remains elusive. But one thing I know for sure, they will remember me. They will remember the man who fought not for power, but for the future of his country. Even if they hang me, the battle for justice, truth, does not end here. It will live on, even when I'm gone. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto remains one of the most iconic and controversial figures in Pakistan's history. He was a leader who commanded immense loyalty and admiration. Yet, his tenure was also marked by authoritarian tendencies and political miscalculations that led to his downfall. His legacy is a mixture of visionary leadership, populist appeal, and tragic political errors. This is Muhammad Kazmi, and you're watching Zulfi Bhutto of Pakistan. Bhutto was born on January 5, 1928, into a wealthy family in Sindh. His privileged background allowed him to receive an elite education, first at University of California, Berkeley, and later at Oxford University. Exposure to Western political philosophies profoundly influenced his thinking. He admired socialist and leftist ideas, but also carried an aristocratic air that often clashed with his later populist image. His academic brilliance and rhetoric poise set him apart. Even as a young man, he displayed remarkable confidence and an understanding of global political dynamics. He was not just an ambitious politician, but a deep thinker who envisioned a powerful and independent Pakistan. Bhutto's political career began in 1950s, but he gained national prominence when he became foreign minister in Ayub Khan's government in 1963. A foreign minister, Bhutto played a crucial role in strengthening Pakistan's ties with China, a relationship that remains strong today. He also took a hard stance against India, advocating for a more assertive foreign policy. However, his differences with Ayub Khan grew, especially after the 1965 war with India. He criticized the Tashkent Agreement, which he saw as a surrender, and positioned himself as a champion of nationalistic and populist ideals. This led to his exit from Ayub's government and the formation of Pakistan People's Party in 1967, and his slogan, the famous slogan you must be aware of, Roti, Kapda or Makan, food, clothing and shelter, resonated deeply with the common people who saw him as a leader who could uplift them from poverty and oppression. Bhutto's, or for any leader, the greatest strength was his charisma.
Have a treaty worse than the Treaty of Versailles. legalize aggression, legalize occupation, legalize everything that has been illegal till 14th or 15th of December 1971. I will not be a party to it. My country hearkens for me. Why should I waste my time here in the Security Council?
तो ये जो नाअहल थे, ये लोग जो बेचने वाले लोग सियासतदान, जिन्होंने अपने ज़मीर को बेचा, अपनी आज़ादी को बेचा, इन्होंने समझा कि मैं भी बेच कर आऊंगा, लेकिन इनमें और मुझ में फर्क था, मैं अवाम का नुमाइंदा था।
Unlike previous Pakistani leaders, he connected directly with masses, addressing their grievances in an emotional and fiery manner. He challenged the elite-dominated power structure and promised economic and social justice. His speeches electrified audiences, and his ability to manipulate public sentiment was unmatched. He was a master of political theatrics, often using the oratory to rally support. His confrontational style, however, also alienated many within the establishment and among his political opponents. Bhutto's leadership was tested in 1970 general elections, where his party won the majority in West Pakistan, but was outnumbered by Sheikh Mujibur Rehman's Awami League in East Pakistan. Bhutto refused to accept Mujib's right to form the government, leading to a political crisis that eventually resulted in the disintegration of Pakistan in 1971. While the primary blame for the separation of East Pakistan lies with the military's brutal response and General Yahya Khan's failed policies.
How did you recognize my border?
I went to the India-Pakistan border at Bangun.
At where?
Bangun.
The border is not a defined line. It's a mass of trees and bushes and riverine waterfare. And these people who you saw were not refugees from East Pakistan. I can arrange a lot of influx of refugees into Pakistan. If you like to come with me to East Pakistan, I'll show you how they're coming from India. But they're not coming, nor are my refugees going back to India.
You're saying that the people I saw coming with their kitchens and their houses on their heads and all their belongings with them were not refugees from Pakistan?
No.
My impression is, President, that, and it seems to be one that's shared by many other observers who have visited the camps in India, that the Bengalis are leaving because they feel insecure and because they feel that there is a persecution against them by the army which will continue.
No.
Is it in your thinking that there should be persecution against these people?
I think any government which would like to persecute their own people is nothing but exaggerated lies. Army has persecuted nobody. Army has tried to save 70 million people of East Pakistan against armed rebels of East Pakistan who were excited and incited by a new theory and philosophy of Awami League for secession. The vast majority of Pakistan, in East Pakistan, have heaved a sigh of relief that this trend and this movement and this agitation has stopped because of army action.
So you're saying, to your knowledge, there has never been, and there is not now, a selective policy of genocide of any kind in East Pakistan?
Most certainly not.
The most common criticism against you abroad is that you are out of touch, that you don't know what's going on in East Pakistan. What is your comment on that?
Well, if a head of a state is out of touch with any part of his country, I don't think he has any damn right to remain a head of state. I'm a soldier, basically, and I'm not a politician. I don't want to stick to this job. The moment I find I'm out of touch with my people, I shall quit.
Bhutto's role remains controversial. His refusal to compromise and his insistence that only a best Pakistani leader could rule Pakistan contributed to the tensions that escalated into a civil war. After
ना मंजूर जहन्नम में जाए, सुअर के बच्चे जहन्नम में जाए। शाम, इराक, लेबनान, मोरक्को, मराकश, अल्जीरिया, सब मुसलमानों के साथ अच्छे ताल्लुकात चाहते हैं। तो उनके साथ जो आपके साथ एक मुल्क में रहे हैं, जो जिन्होंने आपके साथ एक जद्दोजहद की थी पाकिस्तान के लिए, जो अब तक मुसलमान हैं और मुसलमान रहेंगे, मैं पूछना चाहता हूं, आप फैसला करें उनके साथ आप किस किस्म के ताल्लुकात चाहते हैं।
After Pakistan's defeat in 1971 war, Bhutto took charge as the country's president and later became the prime minister. He launched significant reforms, particularly in the land distribution, nationalization of industries, and labor rights. He introduced a new constitution in 1973, which remains the legal foundation of Pakistan to this date, which is deteriorating every day in present days. Bhutto's economic policies, however, had mixed results. While nationalization aimed at reducing economic disparity, it also led to inefficiency, corruption, and the decline of once thriving industries. His socialist economic agenda, though well-intentioned, weakened the private sector and discouraged entrepreneurship. His tenure also saw efforts to strengthen Pakistan's defense capabilities, including laying the groundwork for the country's nuclear program. The nuclear project, which later became the strength under zia-ul-haq, was one of Bhutto's most significant contributions to Pakistan's security. Despite his populist image, Bhutto displayed authoritarian tendencies. He was intolerant towards opponents and used state institutions to suppress political opposition. His government cracked down on political rivals, and allegations of electoral rigging in 1977 elections triggered mass protests. His relations with the military also deteriorated, unlike previous leaders who relied on the army's support. Bhutto sought to diminish its influence. This made him a target for military intervention and ultimately leading to his downfall. Bhutto's controversial re-election in 1977 was followed by the widespread protests. The army led by General Zia-ul-Haq overthrew him in a coup. Bhutto was arrested and charged with conspiracy to murder a political opponent. The trial was widely seen as politically motivated, resulted in the death sentence. Despite international appeal for clemency, Bhutto was executed on April 4, 1979. Even in prison, Bhutto remained defiant. His writings from the Captivity, particularly his book If I Am Assassinated, reveal his deep reflections on power, justice, and betrayal. His execution turned him into a political martyr, and his death left a lasting impact on Pakistan's political landscape. Here are some of the themes from his writing from the Captivity. Number 1. Defiance against dictatorship. Bhutto maintained that he had always acted in the best interest of Pakistan, and that his removal from power was an unconstitutional act by Zia-ul-Haq. He refused to bow down or seek clemency, emphasizing that he would rather die than to submit to what he saw as an illegitimate regime. He had little love for the people. Even when critical of the events that led to his downfall, Bhutto's words often displayed a deep affection for the common people of Pakistan. He wrote about the plight of peasants and industrial workers, reiterating that his policies aimed to empower them and break the cycle of elitist control. His letters also contain moments of introspection where he acknowledged that some decisions, particularly in terms of tolerating opponents, could have been handled differently. The depth of this regret is not uniformly admitted. However, some lines remain ambiguous, but a thread of self-criticism runs through these reflections. Spiritual and moral convictions. Bhutto's prison writings show an individual wrestling with faith and morality in the face of mortal danger. He often invoked Islamic teachings and moral duty as he justified his actions and reaffirmed his commitment to the people. concern for his family, that is the most beautiful part, Bhutto penned heartfelt messages to his daughter Benazir, encouraging her to stay strong, continue the struggle for democracy, and uphold the values he cherished. These personal messages reveal a father's vulnerability under the looming shadow of execution. Bhutto's legacy is deeply polarized. His supporters see him as a visionary leader who gave a voice to the poor and reshaped Pakistan's political identity. His critics argued that his authoritarian style, economic mismanagement, and refusal to compromise contributed to the country's instability. Despite his flaws, Bhutto's influence on Pakistan's history is undeniable. His political party, the PPP, remains a major force in Pakistan politics. His daughter Benazir Bhutto carried forward his legacy, becoming the first female Prime Minister of Pakistan, but she too met a tragic end.
सियासी मदरसे वाले इस्लाम नहीं सिखाते, सियासी मदरसा वाले वहां बैठ करके छोटे बच्चों को सिखाते हैं बम कैसे बनाओ, बंदूक कैसे चलाओ, औरतों को कैसे मारो, बुजुर्गों को कैसे मारो, बच्चों को कैसे मारो।
My final thoughts are very mixed. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was a leader of contradictions, a populist with aristocratic roots, a democrat with authoritarian tendencies, a visionary with political miscalculations. His life was marked by both great achievements and grave mistakes. Whether viewed as a hero or a flawed statesman, his impact on Pakistan remains profound, shaping the country's politics even decades after his death. Thank you for watching this vlog. Take care of your channel Pakistan Updates Originals.